Good evening, folks. It's a big night for Celtic in the Scottish Premiership. They're playing away to Aberdeen at Pittodrie. I'm your host, John McGinley. I'm joined by Josh McCafferty live from Pittodrie in the press box. We're going to run through the team immediately before I bring Josh in. This is your lineup this evening. Viljami Sinisalo in goal. Julian Araujo, Dane Murray, Liam Scales and Kieran Tierney. Luke McCowan's a bit of a surprise choice in midfield alongside Callum McGregor and Rio Hatate. Yinjun Yang, Sebastian Tenekte start on the wings, and Thomas Chwanchara gets the nod through the middle. Your substitutes this evening are Ross Doohan, Benjamin Nigrin, Junior Adamu, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Marcelo Sarachi, Daiza Maeda, Benjamin Arthur, James Forrest, and Colby Donovan. Josh, how are you doing this evening?
Very good, John. Thanks very much. It was a long drive up here. Thankfully, made it through unscathed. And I look at the Celtic team tonight, and my immediate thought is it's a massive opportunity for Rio Hatate. And he's been spoken about a lot after that game at the weekend in terms of the manner in which he changed it, his impactful performance off the bench. So now it's really time for him to buckle down and get a run of starts under his belt and perform when he plays from the start too. He scored a brilliant goal up here at Pittodrie in the second game of the season. Celtic won 2-0. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. Luke McCowan in the middle of the park as well, big chance for him. We've seen him come off the bench at Ibrox, missed that big chance. So it's an interesting team tonight.
Just on that midfield, Josh, what shape are we expecting here? Are we expecting Rio Hatate to be the furthest forward here, or will he play a deeper role? Obviously, at the weekend against Rangers, it was Benjamin Nigrin in a more advanced role. Rio Hatate kind of taking up that conductor position from slightly deeper in the pitch. So I'm interested to see how that plays out tonight. Luke McCowan can kind of play in either, so I don't know if Luke McCowan's energy is going to be needed in a defensive sense tonight, or kind of what the shape of the midfield is going to be. I guess that's one of the question marks about the team.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see, actually. Obviously, we know Luke's more than capable of playing as a 10 or playing as an 8, similar to Rio. So could it maybe even be a 4-1 with McGregor as the sitter, then McCowan and Rio Hatate as 2 8s or 10s? In terms of when Celtic press and the opposition have the ball in their building out, usually it's a 4-4-2 and Rio Hatate plays as that second striker when Celtic are pressing, but it could easily be Luke McCowan tonight because he's got the legs. And I think the way Hatate played at the weekend when he came into the side, he was a bit deeper in making stuff happen. So interested to see how that plays out in the midfield. I mean, it's been one of Celtic's biggest issues this season in the middle of the park. They've not had a set 3 players who've done well in games and been consistent enough. Oxlade-Chamberlain started at the weekend. He got hooked at half-time. Benjamin Nigrin, for all of his goal-scoring exploits, can be inconsistent. He's on the bench tonight. So, yeah, it's Martin O'Neill, I don't think, knows what his best midfield 3 is, and he's just trying them all out at this moment in time, it seems.
Well, I'm not exactly against it at the moment, because I don't know if I know Celtic's strongest 11 at the moment either, and so
no one does.
Yeah, and so I guess I would prefer to try different options than just kind of settle for names based on reputation alone. I guess Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Benjamin Nigrin are on the bench tonight, if needed, of course. Grave Architecture thrown in a comment here. Big show of faith in Dane Murray, a lot of pace in the midfield. Maybe Martin wants a game won by half-time so he can excel. I'm not sure Martin O'Neill ever exhales in a Celtic match. I think Celtic could be 5-0 up and Martin O'Neill would still be sitting there on the sidelines with a bit of anxiety. That just seems to be the way he's built. And I relate to that, Martin, for the record, not a criticism. Just on Dane Murray, obviously he makes a mistake at Ibrox, but as we've noted, I thought he had a good game in general against Rangers, and I think it's the right decision to stick with him tonight despite the presence of Benjamin Arthur.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, Austin Trusty suspended, so ineligible to play in this game, and Benjamin Arthur has never started for Celtic yet. Dane Murray at least knows the league, knows his opponents relatively well, and he's riding a wave of confidence at the minute for all he made that mistake at the weekend. He was colossal aside from that, in my opinion. Previous to that, he played in Stuttgart, and 90 minutes Celtic keep a clean sheet, and with Dane Murray, he's been thrown into these massive games, Tynecastle, Ibrox, Stuttgart, Aston Villa, and he's caused goals in about 3 out of those 4, but he's never had a real consistent run where he's played in a big game, then played in a game like this a couple of days later or a week later. So big opportunity for him tonight. If he plays well and Celtic win again, then he probably starts ahead of Austin Trusty at the weekend at Ibrox, so big chance for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously tonight, everyone knows this, but it's a must-win game tonight, Josh. Celtic really need the victory. I've said before, I think Celtic need to win every game before the split to kind of keep touch with Hearts here. Aberdeen not having the best of times at the moment. I think someone told me earlier that they've only won 4 points out of their last 24 available. I think they've only won one match since December in the Scottish Premiership. As I noted earlier, though, they have beaten Motherwell in the Scottish Cup, so they can produce a good performance on their day. But you're hoping that Celtic can take care of Aberdeen tonight and kind of just move on. Rangers at the weekend, but Motherwell next week as well. It's one of those tricky ones though, Josh. When it could be perceived as a little bit easier, sometimes that's when Celtic come unstuck this season, especially.
Yeah, I don't think this is by any means an easy game for Celtic tonight. They've not lost here in 10 years, over a decade. But Martin O'Neill, quick to note in his post-match presser or his pre-match presser yesterday, that he always had tough games coming up here in his first spell. And I think I'm just looking at the Aberdeen team here on the right-hand side. They've got some capable players, as much as they've not been doing well as a unit recently. Stuart Armstrong could come up with a moment. They've got Kevin Nisbet up front, Olusanya. He was really good in this league with St Mirren a couple of years back. Young Mitchell Frame is starting for Aberdeen at left back, formerly of Celtic. He left for a permanent move here in the summer. It's taken him a while to get into the side, but he's been getting a run recently, so that's something to look out for at left back too. So yeah, I think it's going to be a difficult game. There are no easy games with this Celtic side at the minute, just because they're so inconsistent, and it's a must win. If Celtic don't win here tonight, then you can probably kiss goodbye to the title, I would say. And then after that goes on to a massive game on Sunday. So huge, absolutely huge.
Just a quick reminder of the table here. Just throwing this up of how the top six is shown currently. Don't know if I'm having a few connection issues tonight. It might be myself, so apologies if that's coming through on the stream. But here is the top six. Celtic are 2 points behind Rangers. Obviously, a victory tonight puts them ahead of Rangers, puts them, 7 points. Sorry, 5 points behind Hearts. If Celtic win tonight, couldn't do the math in my head there. That's a bit of a shocker there, Josh. 3 points, go above Rangers, move on. That's what we're hoping for tonight. I'm hoping for a boring 90 minutes, shall we say. That would be fantastic. I'm not sure it's quite going to work out like that, Josh, but we can live in eternal hope. What's your kind of predictions of how you see the game panning out tonight?
Oh, I'm not one for predicting, you know that, John, and everyone that watches the channel knows that. In terms of what I would like, routine victory is probably what everyone wants tonight. Celtic have not won a routine game domestically since the 2nd of February against Falkirk. It might be the 1st of February, whatever it was, but it was over a month ago. They've relied on late winners, late drama, so they're wanting the team to control the game here tonight, get themselves ahead early if they can, and not be clinging on by their fingernails at the end, or not be needing a goal at the end and be comfortable towards the end of the match. But sometimes things never pan out how you want them to, and we'll see how it goes. If you were going to ask me for a score prediction, I would probably go with 2-0 Celtic, similar to the last visit to Pittodrie, 2-0.
Yeah, a goal in each half last time at Pittodrie. I said 2-0 earlier, and that's kind of what I'm sticking with. Was like us saying 3-1 to Celtic. I suppose that sums up perhaps the lack of confidence in the Celtic team. Just a note on the team and the substitutes. Are you surprised not to see Joel and Vuka in the match squad tonight, Josh? Martin O'Neill was hardly full of praise for him, but he didn't know that he's been looking better in training of late. But he doesn't make the match squad, doesn't make the bench here.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Martin doesn't give a lot away with his team selection and players behind the scenes, as we know. But I asked him about Vuka, I think it was, and said that he's been performing well in training, but you just don't know with these things. He 45 minutes against Dundee, never played since, and that probably says it all, really. Okay,
folks, we will be back after the match tonight with all the reaction to whatever has occurred throughout the 90 minutes. It will be after the press conferences, though, so it might be a little bit after the full-time whistle, but we will be joined by Josh from Pittodrie. You can give us a sense of how everything went down in the northeast tonight. I appreciate your insight as always, Josh. Appreciate everyone in the live chat and in the comments below, of course. We'll see you later this evening. Fingers crossed, everyone, for a Celtic victory. 2-0 would just be the ticket, and hopefully it's an uneventful, no late winners tonight. Just give me a night off from that, at least, Celtic. That's what I'm asking for. Yes, thank you for joining us, everyone. We'll see you again next time on the Celtic Way.